for you guys to play loose today because of where you stand at this point? Because clearly right now you're laid back.
This is just an act. I'm not laid back. I'm nervous as hell. Come on. No, I mean, you compete with freedom, and you got to feel good enough about yourself and good enough about the situation to be free to compete so your best foot can be forward. And I'm just hoping our guys do that. Everybody's uptight. Everybody has that pit in their stomach. They don't want to lose. They want to play good. And we understand the process of competing. But to compete with freedom is the key. And it's hard to do. It's hard to do.
Okay, we're going to go straight back on the right. Over back.
Hi, over here. Hi. Yesterday you mentioned that Blake Snell has a bigger payroll than your whole pitching staff. This series has a lot of eyes on it besides the baseball side of things. Do you have any words or opinions about a possible future salary cap on MLB?
Future of what?
Salary cap?
No, I don't know. Listen, I'm a baseball coach. It's what I do. I try to help players find their best self. I don't know if I'm good at it or not, but I don't know anything about the business side. I don't even think about that. That's above my pay scale. I think about helping players get better, however a guy's getting paid, it's none of my business. And the comments about, I just try to bring attention to how great our guys are for competing the way they have. It doesn't matter. When it's one-on-one, it doesn't matter what anybody's making. You compete and you play baseball the same way you play baseball all year. So I'm not looking to make any opinions about what's going on in baseball today, the rules. I'll tell you this, MLB does a hell of a job, however it gets to it. When they make rule changes and do things like that, they do a hell of a job of making good changes. So hopefully we continue to make good changes and you know, everybody's happy and the fans can be happy with great competitive baseball, you know.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead, Todd, on the left.
Murph, other than his willingness to take the ball literally every game here, have you learned anything in this postseason about Ash as far as like competitiveness, durability, anything like that?
For sure. He's been quality. He wants to take the ball. It's a nice little niche, and it helps our bulk pitchers too that don't have that experience of the start and the anticipation and all that kind of stuff. It serves as a help. Because, you know, for instance, a guy like Miz, who you might see today, a guy like Miz went through a stretch of really struggling on the front end, you know, and he did it consistently, struggled. So sounds easy just to throw him out there and get him to grow up, and it's great. But when you have someone like Ash willing to throw every day and capable of throwing every day, and his stuff doesn't go down, why not put him in there for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hitters?
Okay, we're going to go back there on the right.
Murph, you guys have the best road record in the regular season. What led to that success, and is there anything you guys can take from that into the next, hopefully, 3 games here?
Yeah, I mean, great people. You know, there's no, you know, this game is, as you know from following it, you ebb and flow. You go through great times and whatever. You can play good and lose. You can play average and win, you know. But the type of guys we have assembled are the right type to be able to overcome things and to play. They've played great on the road. They've played great at home. But usually the team with the best record in baseball has a chance to have the best record on the road because that's how you get the best record in baseball. So anything different that they've done? No, they've just played the game pretty hard for 9 innings like we did the 5 games in Chicago, or the 5 games against Chicago. We played hard every single game. The 2 games here, we've played hard both games. There's not a matter of like, oh, what happened to the Brewers? They're not showing up. They're not playing well at the right time. Wait a second. We just beat the Cubs, who was one of the hottest teams in baseball at the time, in a very emotional 5-game series. That's good. That's playing good. Now we're down 2 games to the Dodgers, who had 2 epic, historical pitching performances. It's the way it is. We got a lot of baseball left.
Okay, we're going to go here on the left to Kurt, and then we're going to go to Adam.
Murph, assuming Miz is in.
Where are you, Kurt? I hear you, but I
Right
can't.
here.
I can't find
To
you.
your left.
I'm not standing. Assuming Miz is the one following Ashby, does that bump Quintana possibly to tomorrow for
Yeah,
the requisite length that you need from someone?
right. Yep,
Good, Adam.
great question.
Murph, what
I love to mess with Kurt. I can't help it. First it was Adam, beginning of the year, right? Now I've laid off you and I've went right to Kurt.
Thank you.
I was easy on Kurt early, and now I'm easy on you.
Would Quintana start? Would you say that?
That's a dumb question. I'm just kidding. Just kidding, Adam. Would Quintana start? Possibly. He's obviously not, because he's left-handed, we don't get that advantage unless we thought that they were going to take their lineup and do it totally differently, which we don't think the Dodgers will with, two of the best hitters in the game, and Ohtani and Freeman. So most likely we wouldn't need an opener in that. It wouldn't make as much sense to have an opener.
My other question, Murph, was when he.
Are you giving him approval to ask two because this first one was shady? All right.
See how this one goes. Yesterday, he thought he was pitching, or at least he said he thought he was pitching today. How much in general are you asking your pitchers to sort of go with the flow more than they're used to? And do you consider that a significant ask, or is this life in the postseason?
It's life in the postseason for sure. And everybody's going to be critical of everything that doesn't go perfect. You know what I mean? But they were probably critical in the Chicago series too. But we won. So there it is, We've been able to piece together all year a kind of a winning formula. And, despite the two great pitching performances and we're still in a good spot. It's either Miz today or Miz tomorrow, Quintana today, Quintana tomorrow. So that's the way it is.
Go far right, Jason Stark.
Stark.
Murph. Murph, is it safe to say that your team likes being the underdog, is motivated by being the underdog? And when you're having those underdog-type conversations, do you ever reference payroll, your payroll, their payroll, anything about payroll that you could use to your advantage?
To the team?
Yeah, when you're having those conversations or creating that underdog mentality.
I mean, I don't think we're creating an underdog mentality. There's not one of you out there that predicted us to win over 81 games this year. Not one person. So when that happens, who are we? You know what I mean? Like, who are we? We don't have the big payroll. We don't have the big name stars, although some of those guys are becoming very recognizable. Bryce Terang is, the Platinum Glove winner last year, and he's kind of put himself on the map as like, hey, this is an up-and-coming great player. Sal Frelick has put himself on the map that people are like, wow, this guy's special. He just has the it factor. Jackson Chourio at 21 years old is becoming, so it's not like we don't have star power, but we don't have $700 million guys, and we don't have guys that with $300 million contracts. But with all that being said, we're the underdog because we are. Now, underdog meaning we're not capable? I didn't say not capable. I'm just saying we're the team that nobody predicted over 81 games and to win over 81 games anywhere, last year or this year. We won 93 last year with the same group and 97 this year. So maybe we won't be underdogs in the future, but based on the things that predict success in the major leagues, you mentioned payroll, that's a correlation between great success and great payroll. So you can bring it up if you want to, but I don't bring it up with our guys. I just try to get them to play hard and believe they can. But they win the games. I have very little to do with it. They have created for themselves. We're the team that we're gonna play you. We're gonna fight you.
So payroll is never a topic in your clubhouse?
Never.
Going to go to Bob Nightingale.
I say never, like I'm sure guys talk about how much they make and don't make or whatever, or how much the other guys make, but I'm not using that as a motivational thing.
Pat, you have a theory, particularly in recent years, it seemed like the visiting teams had no problems winning on the road. And then some of the home field advantage isn't a big advantage. Why do you think it's happening?
It wasn't Chicago, I promise you. that environment in Chicago, I still think about it. Like that was, the Cubs fans should be commended. I don't necessarily have a close personal relationship with any of them. But, that environment was unbelievable. And our environment was unbelievable. So I do think the home teams in that particular series had an advantage. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that, I don't really think about it. I just think about, 27 outs versus 27 outs. The environments are always pro the home team. And, Dodger Stadium is a great venue to be part of a baseball game in. So I don't really look at it success, home and road. I'm just win tonight, baby, figure out how we win tonight.
Okay, we're going to go here to Bill Shaken in the front. And pass the mic up.
Pat, you mentioned the epic historical games the Dodgers pitched in Milwaukee. But part of that is because they actually went into the 8th inning and went into the 9th inning, which, of course, doesn't happen much now. How do we get back to that? Because logic would say your best pitchers throwing the most pitches gives you a pretty good chance to win, and all of our innings limits and pitch counts haven't stopped the injuries. So with your player development background, I wonder how we get there.
Yeah, it's maybe the topic in baseball today. First of all, the two guys that went to the 8th and 9th inning are special, and they were at the top of their game, in my opinion. That's special, and that's why you pay that kind of money for those guys, because there's only a handful of them out there that the third time around, the hitters are actually just as disadvantaged. Usually pitchers give up the advantage a little bit third time around when a hitter has seen you a couple times. A guy like Yamamoto, that didn't happen on that particular night. And it's coming, it's coming where more and more pitchers have to get through it. But to have the talent to do it against the type of lineups that are out there today, that's another question. The whole injury situation is the mystery of baseball right now. How do we solve it? I personally think that we should make the zone a little bit smaller, especially at the top. I think it would change the game a little bit if we move the zone down just a couple inches down, just because it's impacting the offense in the game.
You go here.
You wouldn't have to set your sights so high and then cover the whole thing. You could set your sights a little lower. It takes away that brain-dead heaver that's throwing 103 at the top. That pitch is hard to do anything with anyways. If you clip the box, it's a strike. That's a real disadvantage. If you made them bring it down into where your bat kind of normally comes in the zone, you've got a different thing. That's my little theory on it. But the pitching's just getting better. The pitching's just getting better.
Okay, we'll go here to Kurt on the left.
Murph, in those two excellent outings, how much of it do you think was them being able to exploit the approach that you guys generally take, and how much of it was the hitters getting away from, the things that your offense does best, and what does that mean for the adjustment tonight against Glasnow?
So I term it this way, Kurt. So to lay off one guy's split is way different than to lay off another guy's split. Same spot in the zone. It's 4 inches below. Same spot, but it's thrown by one guy at a certain, has certain properties to it, and it's thrown by Yamamoto, and it has different properties to it. So, again, you give Yamamoto a chance to throw his best game. Yes, you look different than you do against pitcher Z, who doesn't have the same properties on that pitch. So it's the stuff that creates the illusion of the ball someplace else. All of a sudden, you're chasing a little more. So it's the same team. They didn't do anything different. The approach wasn't anything different. We knocked them out in the first inning last time we faced them. We didn't all of a sudden come up with a new game plan like, oh, okay. Same hitters. That particular game, he would have beaten most teams for sure. Our offense has been good all year long. Those two pitching performances, good pitching beats hitting most every time.
Okay, we take the last one back there on the right.
Murph, Austin making some waves after his great response after Game 2.
Who?
Your son? Wondering what you thought of his response. Sounded like a chip off the old block.
No, I mean, I love my sons, man. My daughter and my sons are my most important thing in my life. So anytime they can be involved and learn anything and be involved in this life and the positive parts of it, I'm just really grateful and thankful. I don't evaluate his responses or anything like that. I just think it's tremendous they can be part of it, and I'm really thankful for the insight to maybe ask him a question, include him. That meant the world to me. I didn't even know it would be broadcast, or I'm hoping you're not writing down everything I say, or you know what I mean? that could be problematic for sure. But yeah, just grateful. You know, that's it, man. He's a great kid. We all say that about our kids, you know. So I don't want to garner any attention for him in a way that isn't appropriate. But yeah, I'm just grateful.
Thanks.
Yeah, he's not on social media or anything like that. So he's hearing it from friends and people showing him things, and he's just kind of like, "Well, what was I supposed to say? I don't know."
Thanks, Pat. Appreciate it.
You got it, guys. Thanks.